Hello, welcome back to Habits and Healthspan, an Amway podcast where we talk about all things Healthspan. My name is Alyssa, and I'm glad that you're back today. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, John. John, it's good to see you.
Alyssa, it is always awesome to join you.
Thank you. And today we have Dr. Gigi Kwok-Hinsley back with us again. Gigi is a recurring guest. Gigi, welcome back.
Nice to be back.
You know, Alyssa, last time we had Gigi here, I learned so much. It was our morning nutrition episode. And listeners at home, if you haven't listened to that one, definitely check it out. And, you know, while you're at it, just go ahead and like and follow us on Facebook and Instagram, subscribe on YouTube so you never miss an episode. Also, while you're there, you can leave us a question in the comments on YouTube, send it to us on our socials, and your question might be featured here on an episode.
That's right. That's right. I remember that morning nutrition episode. I don't think it's an exaggeration to say every morning, because I have in my head Gigi telling me, no, first thing in the morning, drink that water and then have those good foods right away in the morning. And I, most of the time, adhere to that. So thanks, Gigi.
You're welcome.
All right. So Gigi, you are a senior nutrition research clinical investigator at Amway Research and Development. Tell us a little bit more about your background and what excites you about what you do.
So in addition to being a scientist at Amway, which I really enjoyed working with the products, working with the solutions, I'm also a registered dietitian. I hate to admit it, but I've been a registered dietitian for almost 10 years now, which sounds really long time, but it's been really fun to really translate the complex sciences to actual behaviors that we can implement in our daily lives. And that's really one of my favorite things to be able to share with you all today.
We're really grateful for that, because I can't always handle the complex sciences, but I can digest the practical elements. So thanks for that.
Gigi, so thrilled to have you back, because today we're talking about a topic that I am passionate about, but don't know a lot about. My question for you is, what does it mean to have a healthy heart? And how does someone know that their heart is healthy aside from the blood bank keeps taking their donation?
I think when we think about heart health, the immediate focus is the actual muscle and the heart itself, your organ that you're thinking of, right? But it doesn't work by itself. It doesn't work alone. It works with other things, and it's connected to the rest of our body. Mainly, you think about the blood vessels that run right through it. And because what's really important there is that the heart actually has to function and beat hard enough so that the blood circulates throughout your body. But there's also heart blood vessels that go right through it. So you want to make sure there is a really good flow, right? And on top of that, it actually has good enough pressure that it goes from your head all the way down to your toes. So there's several things that we're thinking of, right? We're thinking of good blood flow, good pressure, as well as a good heart muscle that we're really thinking to keep healthy throughout our lives.
Okay, Gigi, why is heart health so important as we age?
I think one of the more important things to really edit there is not just to think about heart health as we age, but think about heart health is important at every single age, right? We don't want to just think about heart health when we are in our 50s, 60s, and 70s. We want to think about heart health as we're younger, as early as we can, right? To make sure that everything's working out really well so that we walk into our aging years in a very good state. I like to think about our heart kind of like a new car, right? When a car is new, everything's running smoothly, everything's running efficiently. It has that even wonderful car smell that we all really enjoy, even just a little bit. But as the car ages, as we move it, things start to break down. And so we really want to make sure we take in those quick checkups. And we're not just waiting to fix the car when it's broken down. It's the same thing of thinking about it with your heart, right? You want to go through quick checkups, whether it's getting your blood pressure, getting your blood checked for cholesterol and triglycerides, but you also want to make sure that you are working fine. Your heart is beating the way that it should. And so I do recommend having quick preventative checkups every single year so that we run into your 60s and 70s in a good heart condition.
You know, Gigi, as you were talking about the maintenance of the car, there's a couple words that I've grown up hearing and knowing that they were bad, but I'm reflecting and I'm thinking, I actually don't know why they're a problem. One of them being high blood pressure. What's wrong with having high blood pressure?
So I think high blood pressure, it's a signal that maybe your heart is pumping that blood a little bit harder than it needs to, right? Your heart is a muscle. When we overwork anything, it's going to deteriorate a little bit faster. However, if it's pumping efficiently, it's pumping just at the right pace, then not only is your body getting the nutrient it needs, it's not overworking itself where it's going to deteriorate a little bit faster than we anticipate. So that's why it's important to have good blood pressure. But then the flow itself, the flow of the blood is also important. So making sure that your blood vessels are nice and clear as much as we can, keeping a good healthy diet is also a good way to maintain good heart health.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it reminds me of when I'm at the gym and I'm working out, that it's important for me to exert myself, but if I overdo it, then I can cause some real injuries with my other muscles.
That's correct. That's exactly how I think about it too.
All right. So you mentioned a healthy diet. What lifestyle changes help the heart stay healthy?
So I think with the diet, you really think about the healthy fats. You think about the cholesterol, the saturated fats, the unsaturated fats. Those are your key. But you also should think about your salt, right? Those are all key nutrients that you should think about as you incorporate it into your diet. But then when you think about the rest of your lifestyle, you also want to think about sleep. Sleep is critical because it's a really good period of time when your body's recovering and really making sure that it keeps up that maintenance that we talked about a little bit earlier, right? It's not going to fix everything, but if you're not going to have proper sleep and adequate sleep, it's not going to have that opportunity to rest at all. And then the other is to think about stress and stress management, right? Thinking about your daily stress. That's normal. We all experience it, and that's okay. It's really about how we manage some of these stress that's actually more critical to think about. Thinking about your breathing technique, doing a walk around the block, having some quiet moment to even journal. It's not big things that we're thinking about, just little episodes here and there throughout your day that allows you to just take a moment for yourself and just allow your heart to just come down for a little bit in this very busy and sometimes stressful life that we can lead. And then, of course, there's exercise, right? Exercise is just a good way to get your blood flowing. It's a good way to work your heart out, right? And so cardiovascular exercise, it's termed exactly the way it is. Cardiovascular exercise, it's intended to strengthen your heart. It's helping you pump your blood a little bit better throughout your body to help you strengthen your heart muscles. So those are all very critical parts in how you manage a healthy heart within lifestyle habits that you build.
You mentioned exercise, which we hear repeatedly on the podcast, right? Can you give a ballpark for what amount of cardiovascular exercise you should be aiming for in a week?
I think with exercise, it's at least some exercise better than no exercise. There's a general recommendation of having 30 minutes of exercises at least 3 to 5 times a week. However, 150 minutes is the goal of how much you have. So if you have an hour here, and maybe an hour there, you might achieve your 150 minutes in a different way than if somebody did 15 minutes every single day. I think with exercise, it could be a very official exercise class that you take on YouTube or through an app, and that's great. However, some people might not really enjoy that, or maybe they're not even there yet. But even just going up and down the stairs of your house one more time than you normally do, I think it's a really good start. Doing household chores around your house, inside and outside your house, a really good start as well. My personal favorite is putting a good audiobook when I don't feel like exercising at all and just taking a walk around my block.
I love it. That seems very doable.
Absolutely. And here on Habits and Healthspan, we always love to get those small little things that you can do, those action steps to make a real change today. I love it.
That fit into your life. So
the exercise makes a lot of sense with me of what you said earlier of think of the heart as this collection of muscles and you want to work them, but not overwork them. It's making me realize that there's another gap in my understanding. And that's what's the problem with cholesterol? If I'm being honest, Gigi, I don't know what cholesterol is. And when you mentioned some of the earlier foods in the diets, like salts and fat, I'm kind of going, yeah, I've always heard that I need to watch that for my heart, but I don't know why exactly. Can you speak more to that?
So when we think about fats, we want to think about saturated fats, unsaturated fats, as well as salts. Those are very important. I think when you think about saturated fats, I think it's also thinking about cholesterol as a nutrient that's maybe adjacent to it. And I think saturated fat and cholesterol tend to get a very bad name for itself. It's not good. Don't have a lot of it. Don't eat it. Avoid all those foods with all of those, right? Mm-hmm. But to be very honest, those are all things that you need. It's part of a vocabulary. It's part of the nutrient because it's essential to what we have, right? They all have a role into it. But do we want too much of it? Probably not. And the thing is, with animal proteins, with animal sources of fats, you tend to get cholesterol with it, right? So when you think about plants, there is no cholesterol that comes with it. So when you think about saturated in cholesterol, they tend to come from a lot of animal sources. And so when you think about those, they have the ability to have high levels of LDL, or low density lipoprotein. Those low density lipoprotein or bad cholesterol have the ability to line your vessels. And so think about a hose, right? When you have a hose and you fill it in with things in it, water just does not flow in very well, and it doesn't flow out very well either. And as a result, eventually when that clog or that occlusion gets a little tighter, you get more and more difficult getting that blood flow through or that water through. And it's really important to think about your blood vessels that way, right? At the same time, as you get a smaller and smaller hole for your blood to go through, you also have higher blood pressure. So that's why when we think about blood pressure, it's not even just how big your blood vessels have the blood go through, but also how does it affect your blood pressure at the same time. However, when you think about unsaturated fat or polyunsaturated fat, or what we know as good fats, we also think about them as good cholesterol or high density lipoprotein, HDL. So think H for happy. So when you think about those things, those have the ability to remove the LDL from your bloodstream. So it's really a good way to clean out, for lack of a better word, or simplifying a little bit, to be able to clean out some of that bad cholesterol out of your vessels. And it's a really good way to be able to maintain good heart health through that method. And then, of course, there is salt. We talked about salt a little bit. Salt has the ability to hold on water. And when it holds on water, it has the ability to increase your blood flow, right? Blood is a type of liquid. It's a type of fluid. It has the ability to hold that liquid as well. And so when you have high blood pressure, it is important that we decrease the amount of salt intake that we have and to maintain good blood pressure within your system. The one thing I also want to add in this whole conversation that is normally not associated with heart health diet is maybe fiber. So it's also important to have at least 25 to 30 grams of fiber throughout your day, every single day.
So what I'm hearing, I think this is putting it all together for me, is there's good cholesterol, bad cholesterol. Bad is blocking up my blood vessels. Good can start to clear that out. Salt is going to be adding more water to my overall blood supply. There's more blood. All of that is leading to or taking away from how hard my heart is working to get blood through my system. And fiber can also help. Am I taking that right? Are my notes accurate?
You're taking really good notes and you're a really good listener.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I had a really good teacher.
Way to go, John. I appreciate you synthesizing that. Gigi, we've spoken about exercise and about diet, plenty of good facets in there that we can learn from. I'm curious, is there anything else that has a big impact on our heart health that you could speak to?
I think sleep and stress is probably a good way to think about it, right? And when we think about stress, we think about stress management. I think stress is part of our daily lives, and it's important to consider that and accept that. I think with stress, though, I think we've all been in a moment, maybe at least once, that where we sit there and you're so stressed that you actually feel warm, you feel like your blood is racing. Those are all signs that you're extremely stressed, right? I think there is a continuum, and that's definitely on one side of the spectrum. But those are the moments where we just take a breather, we do a breathing technique, or we maybe excuse ourselves from that stressful moment and find something that can relax us, whether it's a music, whether it's talking to someone, whether it's journaling what you're feeling right now. Those are just taking a moment out of our very, very busy lives and just making sure that we bring down our blood pressure, breathe through some of the stress that we're having, and making sure we have a reset. It's not going to fix everything. You're probably going to still hold on a lot of that feeling and a lot of the physical stress that you're having. But I think it's really trying to teach your body to say, we got to take a time out here. Let's go back and let's see what we can do, and so that we can be a little bit better than what we came out with, right? I think with sleep, though, it's something where, again, it's your time where your body is really resting and recovering. As you sleep, your blood pressure as well and your breathing rate starts to decline overnight. At some point, it becomes relatively lower and at the lowest point before it comes right back up before you're ready to wake up. I think it's really trying to get sure that you have that enough time for your blood pressure to come down and your heart rate to come down, but also have your heart muscles as well as your other muscles recover during that period of time. So it's not just one thing that's happening, it's multiple things happening. It's really allowing your body to rest and recover, come back to a baseline that I think is very comfortable with so that you can start your day at a better spot, so that you can take on those stressors that you have because you know they're coming. It's just a matter of how do we help manage them, but also how do we help set ourselves up so that we're prepared for some of those stressors that we're going to take on too.
Well, we have covered a lot of ground today. So far, we've learned that having a healthy heart looks like having healthy blood flow, minimum blockage, appropriate blood pressure. Gigi, you spoke to us about the importance of our diets, especially good and bad cholesterol, the little exercises that we can work into our daily lives you mentioned, as well as the importance of sleep and managing stress. Now, you've been sharing a lot of great little tidbits throughout this entire episode, but here at the end of every episode, we like to ask our teachers, what's one actionable step that listeners at home can apply right here, right now, regardless of where they are at in life, regardless of how old or young they may be, active or inactive? What do you got from Gigi?
I personally like to give people choices, so I don't really like to recommend just one thing. We're all very different individuals coming from different walks of life, so I really do want to give that opportunity to choose your own path. I think it's also first recognizing where we're starting. You really want to set the threshold low. I think in life, we tend to set the threshold high, really set really big goals, but here we want to set goals that are just low enough. We're crawling over them, stepping over them, are just simple enough, right? Whether it's actually just putting on your shoes right next to your couch so that walking up and down the street is enough for you. Walking up the stairs one time more than you did yesterday was probably a good way to do it. Or I think you're thinking about your diet, try 2 fruits and vegetables that you've never tried before that are in season right now. Just grab one fruit, one vegetable, put it in there. It doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to be a whole meal. It could just be a snack. I think even just trying breathing technique when nothing else works, you don't even want to get off this chair or get off your couch, or you don't even want to get out of bed to start anything new. Try a breathing technique. One of the things that I really tried before, I'm not the biggest fan, but I tried it before, is actually the square breathing technique. The square breathing technique is really thinking about the square where you breathe in for 4 seconds, you hold on for 4 seconds, you exhale for 4 seconds, and you hold that for 4 seconds, and you start all over again. So think about a 4 square. That's exactly just 16 seconds of your life that maybe you want to try. If it feels good, try another round. If it doesn't, maybe that's something you can try another device another day, or try another behavior another day. But really, it's just trying something you haven't tried before, because no matter how healthy our heart is today, I think there's always room for improvement. The smaller changes maybe are for the people who've already had a lot of changes in their lives, and you have more opportunities when you haven't done anything at all yet. But all of us have that opportunity to make those changes. And so let's try at least one tomorrow.
I love it. John, when she was describing the square breathing technique, were you doing it?
I was not.
Oh, I definitely was. I felt really good after that 16 seconds. Should we do it right now?
All right.
Okay. So, ready?
Am I counting for you?
I don't know. I don't want to leave anybody out. How about I count it?
Okay.
Okay. And here we go. Ready?
Right, yeah.
Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3.
Hey, and there it is. Listeners at home, if you joined in on us doing our square breathing method, congratulations. Just right there, Alyssa, we've already have an accomplishment for the day. Check on the list, helping out our cardiovascular health. And it's all thanks to our awesome guest, Gigi. Gigi, you make this journey into making healthier choices feel so much more accessible. And so just for everything that you're sharing and for joining us again, thank you so much.
Yeah, you said it at the beginning, Gigi. It's something you're passionate about is taking the science and making it accessible, more manageable, or practical. So we are the recipients who are benefiting from that today. Thank you for being with us.
Always a pleasure.
And thanks to all of you for listening at home. Like and follow us on Facebook and Instagram and subscribe on YouTube so you never miss an episode. And hey, while you're there, if you have any questions or if you want to share any stories with the rest of the Healthspan community, go ahead and leave those as comments on YouTube or send them to us on our socials. Who knows, Alyssa, they might be featured on upcoming episodes.
Who knows, those questions could be heard by more people.
Absolutely. And we love hearing from you. So make sure you do that and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining us.